Hello everybody, my name is Connor and welcome back to Noblasta TCG, where I post my games, learn from my misplays, and count on your feedback to grow. Today, we are playing a green-purple Luffy into blue-purple Luffy. Lots of blue, purple, and green-purple running around lately. Actually, mostly blue-purple. I'm kind of like late to the green-purple party, but I'm really enjoying this deck. It feels really consistent, it feels really fun, and if you guys have been longtime viewers of the channel, I need decks that are consistent. I am not the luckiest man around, so I need decks that can do the thing and find the cards they need, and this deck is really, really good at that. But before we get into the game, I do want to remind you guys that if you want to support the channel, you could head to 1000noble.com to grab or commission a playmat. You could also join the YouTube membership. That helps me out a ton. And of course, if you're looking for a new deck box, maybe you want a playmat of sorts, duelingguard.com/Clover Crew is going to get you some sweet, very nice Dueling Guard accessories like the deck boxes you see on the left side of my video. Yeah, if you use duelingguard.com/Clover Crew. So, enough shameless plugging, let's get into the game. We're going to go ahead and play When You're at Sea, You Fight Against Pirates. And look at that hand, 2 Sanji and Puddings to start. I'm feeling like that's a really, really good start, and I do want to keep that hand. Here, I do take Nami so that I can search more cards and ideally have some more counter, because my hand is not looking like I have a lot of counter. Of course, 2 Dawn, not much for Luffy to do. So we are going to take this advantage to go ahead, play down that Nami to find something to grab off of the search. Pretty good choices. 0 cost, somewhat tempting. At this point, I'm thinking that I maybe want the Demon Aura or the 2K in the Sanji. I think 2K Sanji makes sense here. It is a 2K, and I feel like if any match is going to get, get me far enough behind on Dawn to use the other Sanji ability to cheat him out for less Dawn, it's probably going to be this one. So my opponent does go ahead and give us a Franosuke, one of the beautiful welcome pack Franosukes. I'm going to need more of those. And then to counter out of that, plays the Bon Clay, ramping up another Dawn and passing turn. We are on that turn. We are on that magical 5 Dawn turn. This is the turn where brain off, play Sanji and Pudding. I'm hoping my opponent doesn't see a God Thread, but thankfully we are in a position where we will be restanding Dawn. We're now a 6K leader, and we do have a stage in our hands. So we are going to tap 1 to play stage to buff the cost of Sanji and Pudding. And one thing that I am notoriously realizing I'm terrible at is drawing when I play Sanji and Pudding. I think this is what I'm realizing here. And I think that I was at more Dawn at that moment. So that's a thing you guys are going to have to call me out on several times in the next couple of videos, is just not drawing off the Sanji and Pudding ability if I'm low. Gonna go ahead, I think that's the draw for the stage. We are gonna find a Nami, and yeah, we are gonna go ahead, play that Nami to search. I see the Frankie in my hand. I'm actually tempted to remove the Frankie, because Frankie feels extremely situational. Frankie feels like a card that I rarely want to play. So I am going to go ahead and swing 6. He doesn't have 2 Dawn up, which to me says that he's not going to get the ramp off of Thunder Bagua if he has it, and he's at 3 life. So poking 6 here I don't think hurts too much, and we do get a Rosinante out of his hand, which is pretty good for us. So now we've buffed our Sanji and Pudding, our 1 Altart Sanji and Pudding, so that the God Thread can't hit it. So he can't get the ramp off of that. I mean, he could God Thread one of our Namis, which would ultimately be better for us. But he is going to go ahead and tap 5 for the Nami. And I honestly think that I am looking at that Zoro, and I'm thinking about dropping some Frankies. I have 2 Frankies in the list right now, and I'm thinking about maybe going 3 with Zoro. But I'm also looking at some options for maybe a Hell's Judgment or something to help with a Rayleigh matchup. If you guys missed it yesterday, yesterday's video was a Rayleigh match, and oh, it was brutal. But 5 Dawn, Sanji and Pudding is gonna come down. Checking how much Dawn I am at. I I can't count. There we go. I do remember to draw off of the Sanji and Pudding here. Way to go, me. We're going to go ahead and buff the pretty Sanji and Pudding up by 2 cost. Leader ability minus the 2 Dawn, restand 2, and get 2 back active. I know that there is a shorter way to do that, but since I am learning the deck, since I am still new, I want to do it the long way, just to make sure that I am consistently getting what I need. And here, I'm actually thinking about playing down the Zoro to rest the Bon Clay and swing into the Bon Clay, and I think that's what we're going to do. I feel like my best bet with this matchup is just to be pretty aggressive. So we do swing the 2 into 1. Of course, if he blocks, our Zoro could have rushed. Unfortunately, only has character rush there. And I do see he has 2 Dawn up, so I'm thinking about, do I want to swing at all? I do swing this one, and then I think I go ahead and pass, kind of not wanting to press my luck with the Thunder Bagua, keeping him at unable to do leader ability amount of Dawn. I think he's now at 8, if I've counted correctly, but I'm terrible at math. So I still feel like we're in a really commanding position here. He is going to swing 6 into that one, and yeah, absolutely. Another Nami does come down. Looking at drawing 3. I'm trying to remember what it does. I am also playing Blue-Purple Luffy. You guys will see some Blue-Purple Luffy games here in the future, but I am just really... I think after this tournament, we end up playing Blue-Purple for a tournament, and then we just go back to Green-Purple. As I said, the consistency of this deck feels so good, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Of course, you guys have not seen, on Sunday, I will be announcing a new long-term series, I guess. And that's part of the reason why we are playing so much Green Purple Luffy is we are, long story short, we're going to try and sweat our nuts off to get an invite to Nats. So we are going to go ahead, tap 1, look at the top 5 for a Straw Hat Crew character. Interestingly enough, the when you're at Sea You Fight Pirates is actually a Wano card. So we won't get a benefit of that, searching that. But I think in EBO 2, I think it gets replaced with the 2-cost Nami Searcher. But we are going to take the Zoro Juro here. I do respect it for the most part. I think, do we have a Demon Aura in hand? I think having a Demon Aura in hand it's kind of something I feel like I want to hold on to until late game, you know? Until I'm going for game. But 4 to search the top 5. I do remember to search 5 here, thank goodness. And I'm in a really commanding position, so I want to take Sanji and Pudding, but I am also a bit nervous about the pressure that my opponent will be applying once they hit that 9 Dawn turn and they can Sanji into things like Mihawk or Sanji into Luffy or even into Dofi, into Rosinante, something like that. But we are going to go ahead, leader ability, restand 2 Dawn, get 2 Dawn back, and it feels so good to be able to use so much Dawn every turn. I think at this point we are still able to use Stage if we want. I think my opponent is at 8 Dawn currently. So we are going to go ahead and use Stage. We are equal Dawn, if I'm counting correctly. Chance I'm not counting correctly. Now, my opponent does have 2 Dawn up. At this point, though, I do feel like it's just a little... What is the word I'm trying to think of? If I swing and I get a Thunder Bagua, that's okay. We are going to take Demonic Aura here, and I think that's a good call. See, out of the 2 options we see, taking Demonic Aura so he knows, hey, you better leave a lot of Dawn up because we are going to start pressuring you like crazy. I think that is a good call there. We are going to go ahead and swing at 6, get another 2K with the Pronosuke. Trying to decide, do I swing 2 at 7s? Do I swing more? Do I get risky and play another Sanji and Pudding with no Dawn up? I don't know. I don't feel like that's the play. As tempting as it may be, of course, get all the Sanji Pudding on board. But yeah, definitely doesn't feel like the play. So we will go ahead and swing at 7 with leader here, getting another 2K. Really swinging these smaller numbers because it feels bad to have to, you know, Gum Gum Giant out of a 6K swing. feels bad to Gum Gum Giant out of a 7k, you know, things like that. But we do see the Thunder Bagua off of the 7k, and yeah, he is at 9 Dawn, so he is going to get to 10. We are going to go ahead and swing one more 7 here and see what we can do. Another Thunder Bagua. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn. Leader ability is going to go off. He is going to search the top 5 for a Straw Hat type character, or excuse me, a Straw Hat type card, not even character. But look at, that's his hand size on the table right there. That is 3 cards in hand. We have done a really good job of keeping his hands low. Of course, he does have 2 5-cost blockers, which we don't have. We have one way to get around, which is Demonic Aura. But of course, we are hoping that he doesn't leave a billion Dawn up. And that's kind of what I'm looking for here, is if he leaves, depending on how much Dawn he leaves up here, we might go for game. But he is going to swing that 6 into our Zoro, and I am kind of feeling like I want to keep Zoro alive. I want to keep him on the board. It's an extra swing. 9 Sanji into Mihawk is going to bottom deck our Altar in there. I am giving him shit. I'm like, you bottom decking my 1 Altar? How dare you? And he's like, it's the 7 cost, you know. Still having a good time. Yeah, I mean, I love the guys in the community. They're so great. They're so wonderful to play, and they always are. If I ask like, hey, what did I do wrong? They are always really supportive, really willing to help me figure out what I did wrong. So we are gonna go ahead. We'll just buff our Sanji and Pudding, and we are gonna go ahead. Now that we're at 10 Dawn, we're playing down our other Sanji and Pudding, and they do have 1 Dawn up. This is interesting here. I think I get to draw off of the Sanji and Pudding ability here, but I constantly forget. I'm pretty sure it's equal or less, so that's a bit of a bummer that I don't draw off of that. At least I don't remember to draw off of that. So yeah, I am gonna go ahead and play Demonic Aura, resting the Dawn and a blocker. We have a lot of swings incoming, and he has no Dawn up and 1 blocker. So and as I said, he has about 3 cards in hand at this point. As we saw, he put his hand down while searching. Yeah, that does look like 3 there. I know I'm zoomed in pretty close, but I think you guys would want to see the cards. So 7 at lead. He is gonna go ahead and take. We have the Zoro Juro. I forgot he was over there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The glare is atrocious. Gonna go ahead and swing a 7, get another 2k out of hand, swinging another 7 at lead. And I'm in a position where I do want to leave some Dawn up. We are gonna see that he's gonna block out. Yeah, I think leaving a couple of Dawn up would be our safest bet, and potentially swinging 7. I might get really ballsy and swing 8. I am feeling like we are pretty ahead in this game, so I do swing 7 into the Nami just to make sure that I can clear that Nami, or that I can go for face. You know, he's got to play a blocker this turn if he wants to play a blocker. He is going to take the gear 2 there, and if we can find another Demonic Aura, I think that'll put us in a really good spot. And of course, I think Rush Luffy would definitely secure game here. But we are in a position now. We have plenty of Dawn. I think we're going to be trying to protect our board as best we can. Yeah, I think protecting our board as best we can would be the play. So swinging 6 at the Zoro. I am going to give him that 1k with Frankie. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm using that Frankie for, is just that 1k. So might be time to get rid of the Frankie, or at least remove him from the list. We are going to go ahead and Gum Gum Giant out of the 9k swing into our Sanji and Pudding. And we do actually draw a Luffy. That is really good for us. Another Gum Gum Giant, gonna trash the when you're at sea to draw 2 more, and we draw into Nami. So depending on how much Dawn my opponent leaves up, depending on how, he actually ends up God threading the Sanji and Pudding there. And he might be passing with all that Dawn up. That would be incredibly unfortunate. But I still think, yeah, so he is passing with about 5 Dawn up. I still think we are in a good position to pressure for a game. We do, granted, we only have 1 Sanji and Pudding on the field now, which of course is a bummer. We've got the Zoro Juro, the Sanji and Pudding, and the 4-cost Rush Zoro, the character Rush Zoro. So we do have some options. Looks like I'm going to go ahead and tap 6 for the Luffy. Yeah, as I said, we are in just such a commanding position in this game that it's kind of a why not, you know, we are in a good spot to just kind of press for game. Gonna go ahead, buff the Sanji and Pudding, you know, just in case. Gonna go ahead and just start with the 6, see what they want to do with that. They do give the 1k there. Trying to decide, do I go 6, 7, how do I tweak these swings? And I think we're just gonna poke some 6s. We're gonna poke 6 with the other Zoro, and he will take that life. And we are gonna go ahead, poke 6 at lead, get the 1k, and then 9 with the Luffy, and minusing 2 Dawn to restand, and we are gonna take our top life here, finally going down a life, and that is gonna be it. So just a really, as I said, dominant game from us. I think we really saw what we needed and just kept building off of all the searchers we had. And honestly, I feel like I was a different person in this game. I feel like I just knew what to do with this deck, and it felt really good to have the deck work with me. It's not something that always happens here, but when it does, it feels pretty nice. But overall, really great game. That's the problem I'm kind of running into with Blue Purple. I enjoy the deck, but if you don't see those pieces, it just feels so bad. And I think my opponent ran into a little bit of that. But that is going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new. And I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
すぐに片付けますのでご安心を。おらー、これじゃあキリがねえ。麦